Hello, good morning. I'm Ryan McGough in Telecom and in Telecom Investments, the bodybuilding businessman and real estate investor. And I'm coming with a little video today because I got some new gear, Audio Technica, not endorsed by them. But speaking of endorsements, if you find something valuable here from this video, please like and subscribe to the channel where we talk about business, telecommunications in specific, and real estate investing and also bodybuilding. So the ultimate triple crown, if you will, of body, mind, soul, and body, business, and real estate investing. And I want to talk a little about telecommunications, telecom, which is the business side of things. For me, I have been in business for 2 years in both of my businesses, and we are gaining momentum, gaining traction, doing new things. And the one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, and it's really important to me, is the vision of right now and the process of right now, the vision of a few years out, right? 1 to 3 years, and then three and beyond, right? I think all three of those things are extremely important. And the things we're doing now are not the things we want to do and solve in the future, but we have to do to some degree projects now, bring in revenue, bring in income. So the three things that I'll just generically put, some of the things that we wanted to do in the future are cut the cords of fiber, right? Not be stuck with fiber. Now you can talk about Starlink and some of these other things, right? In terms of internet being completely wireless, right? My idea is to have telecommunications be completely wireless. So that is our end result goal. There's some other end result goals. We'd love to be the wireless connectivity in stadiums, right? I think that you could also do away with some of the old style monitoring and keeping of measurements. For example, I think we could switch to some cool data in that, but mainly cutting the cords, having it be a completely wireless world, a completely wireless infrastructure. I think our capabilities are able to do that. We want to bring in a private LTE building, right? Private network, and then fully secure with some of the partnerships that we have in encryption. And we want to do that in the future in the next 10 years, for example, right? We want to have the first wireless building, right? Imagine a building that has no wires in it whatsoever. Everything is a lightning fast LTE connection everywhere to the building. So there's just some points, some racks, right? And then there's antennas. Hey, girlie, good morning. Hi. Baby girl's awake from her nap. And then the midterm is we would like to get to that long term, right? We want to have some low voltage contracts, some entire low voltage scopes, right? Because how do we in 10 years become the contractor that's going to build a totally wireless infrastructure within a building or government building, right? By today, only doing the one little thing that we like to do, right? Which is wireless cellular Wi-Fi, right? We need to get into build a team, start bidding some smaller full low voltage scopes today, get the right team to be able to do that. We also need to probably build our SAM.gov, our government funnel base, right? In those aspects, maybe partner with somebody who's a little bigger, right? So there's those midterm strategies. And then today, to be able to do that, obviously we need to be able to bid that low voltage, win that low voltage, get a small one, get a bigger one, right? And then within that, we even have the customer base that we go to are just mainly kind of referrals right now. We're asking our referral network, hey, we've done projects with you in the past. Do you have anything now? And we need to grow into bidding cucumbers, nice, bidding some new types of projects with new general contractors and those types of things, and then even going to building ownership groups and those types. So, we are expanding what we're doing. We're in communications with some big low voltage networks. If you want to be in the video, make sure you put a shirt on, baby girl. to go put a shirt on, you can come in the video with me. But I know we just like to wear underwear right now. That's that's our phase. So because I'm gonna put this video up on the internet, and I just want to make sure you have a shirt on, because you might later on in life not want to be there in that video with no shirt, and you can't make a choice after it's already done. So I try to protect you from that sort of things. Yeah. So back to what I was saying, just the midterm, uh, long term, and then the short term. So what we're doing today obviously has to point us to where we're going in the future, and where we're going tomorrow at the same time, and always point us in that right direction. So we have to have that vision of the future here, um, and be making choices today that are going to get us there. But at the same time, we have to bring in revenue, right? We have to just do projects. We have to put successful projects together on the board, right? And so we're getting into that phase where we're getting a bunch of DAS projects. We're getting some in. We're starting to be the prime DAS contractor on some. And DAS is, if you don't know, distributed antenna systems. So that's more for your cellular networks, and for those types of networks, and Wi-Fi and that kind of thing. And we're getting the whole low voltage scope, access control, security cameras, everything from AI phone systems sometimes is on there, CCTV, all of those other low voltage systems, locks, key cards, cameras, heat sensors, anything like that too. So those are all things that are something that we're moving towards now, and with the intent that we should be getting and doing and working on those entire networks in the future. So yeah, when we create a company, we have to solve some kind of a problem. Obviously, there's a big problem that we want to solve, and multiple problems. And our model really, I think, is built to solve the problems of labor, because we have autonomous reward-based model where we kind of give people, the next steps on how to move forward. I think that's helping with some of the problems. Yeah, that's cool, girly. I see that. That remote labor model is helping with trying to keep more people into these labor and skilled trades kind of jobs, to be honest, and then of course educating them and certifying them into that, so they're always ready for the next role. And we want to move people through our model and move them and develop them, and then also no begging. Hey, don't feed him, please, because he's going to always stay there. And moving them through. So we have a model on how we manage and bring resources to the table. We have some parts of our model on how we're going to get to some of these futuristic things that we want to have in the U.S. No more fiber, wireless infrastructure within buildings. A building, in a mesh network with other building becomes a wireless infrastructure that's a city, that moves out to the town, in a rural network. So all of these different things that we want to pioneer and do, into the future, which makes our model really attractive and pretty forward thinking and amazing, but also doing it now in the most efficient way while still spending the least amount of money to do it, in saving and keeping us alive as a company by just doing the next project. So yeah, we always have to keep those three ideas of the now versus tomorrow versus the future we can't even really see, and are we doing things today that get us to that next part. So we've probably done about 5 to 6 networks. We've done some low voltage speaker systems. We were the prime on a big government project at this point. We have some partnerships with other projects, some subcontracted projects that we have been a part of, or were handed off by other contractors. We've worked with general contractors, and then we've worked with electrical contractors and stuff too. So next is going out to the building owners and that type of environment. And those things, we haven't grown the sales team as much. We just estimated and quoted and asked our network for jobs that come in, or partnerships there too. So, anytime we want to grow into that new or expand into that new place or version of ourselves, there's always a lot of pain that comes with that. And how do you take the money that you have now that's paying the bills and put a new position in and get a new person on board? And there's a level of some productivity that maybe declines, or training that they need, right? And hiring that person, making sure they're the right fit and they're a good person. So, all of this comes with a lot of growing pains. But at this next step, we're looking more from, just doing DAS and doing some Wi-Fi and some of those things that we do really well and have done, to being the entire low voltage contractor and doing the entire low voltage scope, getting and building a bigger team that's ready to do, right, one DAS network and one Wi-Fi and one radio network. That's one thing, right? But when you have like 5 simultaneous networks at the same time that you're pulling, roughing in, structured cabling, devices, testing, commissioning, programming, all of those different factors, and then having the crew that could do one network, right, versus a crew that could do all 5 networks at the same time, there's definitely a lot more of an expense that has to be provided on that group, right? And you want more experienced groups. So those are probably the biggest thing as we challenge in from like a company just staying alive, paying all the bills without taking any capital from anybody, which is who in telecom is. We haven't taken capital from anybody. I bootstrapped it myself, and it's paid its own bills, which has been fantastic and great. But now we need some more of those resources that are a little more expensive, and they need a little more of those things up front, maybe company vehicles and, insurance when we don't, offer some of those things at the first year of being in business, right? It's a little different. So that's the kind of growing pains now that we're into and setting into, and just trying to build the next relationships with people who kind of fit, right? We can get projects still, just have some kind of terms, right? They, give us a project and we have low voltage, but we're just going to pull the cable and do the devices and do the testing, right? And then somebody programs their own, or they do their own equipment, right? For example. So we have to be strategic in the type of networks that we get that fit our stage of growth and development at this time right now as well. So that's another thing. We could try to get this $1 million project, but $500,000 are equipment that we have to do up front. Now we may need to structure it in a way that says, okay, well, when we demo it, we're going to get that first invoice paid, right? That should support buying 1/3 of the equipment, and then now we buy 1/3 of the equipment, it's installed. Now we get our invoice and move forward. So we have to be strategic in the way that we structure our contracts and that type of thing to be able to make sense for us at this time in our development too. So as we move into the next phase of development, being the prime, right, in doing so bootstrapped without taking capital and raising capital, it's something that we have to be strategic in terms of the contracts that we get. So that's what we're looking at, to get more contracts, bigger contracts, total low voltage, total scope, total building, maintenance contracts, right? Which what separates us on maintenance contracts is that we set up and build pretty cool monitoring software, right? And that is totally integrated in, and everybody can set up tickets and monitor, right? So we log every piece of equipment to a network, right? To a GUI, if you will, a software system, and they can look and see any devices that are down and then set up automatic tickets. So whatever can make it easier for any big government enterprise or building by looking at everything and device that they have right there that's monitored. How can we do that and set that up for them to make it as easy for them on their part. And we have these monitoring and maintenance contracts with them where the upfront work in developing the software for them that's really user friendly has the benefit of making their lives easier and simplifying their life through the course of our maintenance contract. And it also lets us be more efficient as well. So those are the types of things we're doing now as we scale a little bit from just DAS and just, antennas and just structured cabling to being the whole low voltage contractor, to doing some pretty big maintenance stuff, to looking at some big SAM.gov projects and big government projects as well, and bidding on those and getting them out the door. And that way, if we structure the terms right and that kind of thing, we should be able to build that team very easily, because we've been able to build teams for so long that we're really good at that kind of stuff. But it's just doing it on a bigger scale and having more resources that are more skilled and teaching them our model and getting them on board with the cool things we do. So, it's always the vision, and that vision's always separated into a few different channels: long-term, midterm, and right now, making sure they all line up. And all that takes careful planning and believing and note-taking and seeing how did we do against what our plan was, and then always keeping that vision of the future in our forefronts of our minds today. So in our telecom, when we talk about in telecom, telecommunications, low voltage, wireless, DAS, cellular, radio, Wi-Fi, that kind of stuff, that is a high level overview of what we're doing and where we are today. So as well as me getting my new microphone and new gear, I was very excited to put this video out there and record it. So I hope it sounds amazing and I look more professional doing it, because anybody that does something should grow and expand in it too. If I had the same quality gear that I had a year down the road, it might be questionable as to how much effort and energy I'm putting into this and how much belief that I have. So I do this one thing like I do everything, and that's always with intention and also gratitude. So with that, I am grateful for all of you listening, and I will and like and subscribe if I have provided you some value. But that is my telecommunications 101, my low voltage 101 for today, and what we're doing in that. And you can help me if you know anybody that needs to update and build their wireless or telecommunications or low voltage infrastructure. We would love a opportunity there. Or if you're in the wireless industry infrastructure and any of those future beliefs sound pretty cool as to what we're doing, get in touch, and we'd love to chat about how we could both make that a reality, a wireless future, and a wireless infrastructure for the world without cords, cutting the cords, as we say, right? So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe to the channel where we talk about business, bodybuilding, and real estate investing as well. And I will catch you on the next video. I'm Ryan McGough, the bodybuilding businessman and investor. Thank you for your time.